Welcome back, ladies, to the second game between Sora and Dayshi, the WCG 2013 in Kunshan, China. Starting to the top left of the map, the Protoss player Sora in the lead. And to the bottom right, we have his opponent in blue, the Terran player from France. It is Dayshi. Had his chances in game number 1, but in the end, the winner was the Protoss player, taking the first map in a best of 5.
That's right, it is a best of 5, so Dayshi has plenty of room to come back. And he did look strong in that game, you know. He did look like he could definitely do some damage. It's just a matter of getting past that that aggression, that war prism, and those run-bys. And maybe he'll fix it this game.
Yeah, it was definitely a problem for him dealing with it, and maybe better scouting, maybe having like one Viking just in position, a few units at home, something. Could have maybe even taken that game. So it didn't look as dominant from the Protoss player in the early and mid-game at least, as we expected.
Yeah, the late game, Sora was kind of in a commanding position, you know, and it was just a matter of time from then on. And he took his time, and I really like that.
Yeah, he definitely didn't risk anything there. He took his time. He knew that the game was basically his to lose, so no mistakes from him. Takes game number 1. And now Dayshi, as you already said, he has to go back to the drawing board. He has to think about what he's going to do. He was very confident going into the series. I feel that he definitely expected to lose at least 1 or 2 of the maps.
I'm sure he would have.
So right now, this is something that is not completely unexpected to him, but he has to just focus on the game ahead. And he was very confident. He said, like, I can beat anyone in the world. I just have to be, like, in a really good position. I have to, like, show my best. And if I can do that, then I'm definitely in a spot where I can win these games.
Yeah, I really like that attitude, you know. It's a good attitude to have, and it's very true. If you play your best, you can beat anyone.
How difficult is it for you when you're playing in a tournament to actually keep that attitude up when you just lost the game?
It's still a very possible thing. I mean, whenever I go to a tournament, I really want to play against the Koreans. Not because they're not only because they're the best, but I seem to have a really good record against them compared to Europeans, which is really weird. But I do play a lot on the Korean server, so maybe I'm more up to date with their style, and I'm kind of used to it. But that's always been the thing in the past for me. But as you said, I don't know. You just gotta bury it. You gotta understand why you lost. And if it's something like, oh, I lost because of the war prism, that was kind of silly. But I can not do that this game. I can play a lot better. And I mean, I had him against the ropes, and so I'm sure he'll just brush it off. You know, it's the best of 5. You shouldn't be thinking anything after game 1 except what your strategy is game 2.
Is it coming to your mind sometimes that your opponent might just go for a very aggressive build because he's in the lead? Is that something you think of between games, or do you just look at the next map and you think about, okay, what am I going to do? What is my next opening? You
definitely look at a player and you kind of see what their style is. Like, looking at Sora, he's very safe style, and they knew about that from the beginning. Like, coming into this, he has a very set style that he does, and it's a safe style. And from there, you kind of just play how you think best reacts to it. That's usually what I would go into thinking.
Well, for Dayshi, we have actually a similar build to what we saw in map number 1. He forgoes tech early on in the game to focus a little bit more on the extra barracks. That saves his expansion, of course. The bunker at the front, also not taking any risks there, not trying to cut corners, making sure that whatever Sora throws at him, he can meet it, and delays his medivacs a little bit because of that. Getting the second gas up. And for Sora, we have by now his own expansion and also a very, very early third base, apparently.
Wow, I like that. That's a really cool idea. That's a really cool move. And a little bit risky, especially if Dayshi scouts it. We'll have to wait and see if he does.
That's actually what we kind of talked about just a minute ago. The one thing that you can do when you're ahead in the series is either play very aggressive and risk something, or you can go and play very greedy and risk something because you just leave yourself open in the early game to counter aggression. But with Dayshi playing this very safe style again, if he doesn't identify that third base, that could come back to really haunt him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely an option to take when you're up a game. It's like, okay, time to take a calculated risk. I have 3 games to drop, so I got 3 chances, you know. And if I do this risky strategy and get ahead, you know, it's just an easy win.
Yeah.
Worth the risk.
Daishi's moving out again, and if Dayshi knew about that third base, that would be an easy kill for him. He could just walk over to the third with that small army. There would be no way for Sora to hold that. But because he doesn't know, he's now occupied with those stalkers on the map and just trying to do some damage.
Yeah, and this is exactly the same. Push Dayshi did last game.
And Sora has gone in straight into Twilight Council, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a Dark Shrine here. He could go and just save it, try to go even for a couple of DTs just to have like an option to defend the bases with a couple of warp inserts. But he goes for the Blink build, which is I feel even more greedy than what he did before, because he needs to get the Stalker numbers first. There comes once again the Photonova charge on the Nexus, and that third is still not spotted.
That third is very safe. I mean, he's trying to make it look as normal as possible. I mean, if you can only see the front of the Protoss base, you know, how much can you really figure out? The only thing that's different right now, ooh, that mothership core going down. It's a bit of a mistake, but all these Marines are going to die for it, so I don't know if that's actually worth it at all.
Yeah, for a second, Sora not showing us any micro at all, not microing that Stalker. I feel he could have saved the Stalker that died there. But you're completely right. That mothership core going down, definitely annoying. But if you kill 10 Marines in the process...
Yeah, I mean, that mothership core is already out again, and it was low on mana anyway. Sorry, low on energy, because it did use the photon overcharge and the time warp.
Yeah, and then suddenly you have your mothership core back, you kill 10 Marines. And, you know, thinking about it, like, if you just look at the game and you look at those 2 bases, you might think, okay, well, I'm on 2 bases. But he's not, he's on 3. So now the Marines are gone, and that was the map control that Dayshi had. That was the force on the map that was mobile, that was a threat to the third. So he's absolutely willing to take the trade in this scenario.
Yeah, and I'm going to be, and it absolutely looks like it's going to be a huge Blink Stalker push. I would not be surprised if that's the case. I mean, he's so ahead in economy right now.
Yeah.
And he can just push it. I mean, he did kill a large chunk of Daishi's army.
He's not even trying to add any additional tech. We do not see a forge. We do not see anything at all. There's no detection on the map for him. The only thing that he really wants to do, look at those gates. 5 additional gates coming into the 3 that he already has. He's going to be on 8 gates, 3 bases. A ton of money. He's going up to like even 10 gates right now.
Wow.
He is going to warp in Zealots and Stalkers 6 days to Sunday. Just going to blink up and take everything apart.
I really like this, and I think this is definitely the right choice. Especially if Daishi's on the map and gets caught by Blink. It's pretty much game right there. And using a hallucinated Colossus. But uses Blink in front of the factory, and I don't know if that was a good idea. He could have hit that a little while longer and really shown his true colors.
I don't think he really saw that Blink, to be honest with you. He's going for double Viking, and he has another base now queued up.
Ah, very true, very true.
I don't think he realized that.
He got played right there.
Yeah, with all the Vikings that he's building right now, he's cutting down on the medivacs. And he needs medivacs against what's happening here.
He needs so much right now. He needs to just be massing medivacs and just getting ready for that timing.
This is definitely becoming a huge issue, especially since he continues to produce Vikings here. Here comes the army, here comes the Colossus. Terran is moving in from an angle. The force field's at Eason though, and the Blink micro is excellent. Sora blinking away here, using of course the Guardian Shield too. Can blink forward again, trying to snipe the medivacs. And by now Dayshi knows that something is up. A 20 supply lead, a 30 supply lead already for the Protoss player. And that third base is just a dream that will never become reality.
That's right, and you actually saw Dayshi focus down that Illusion Colossus before anything else, and it just disappeared into nothing.
Oh god, no repair on the bunker either. Another round of Stalkers is already in position. He's just moving in. That third base not cancelled just yet. He has a warp in. The warp in piling goes down. That helps him a little bit. There are at least a couple of Marauders that can deal very well with the Stalkers, but so many of them are already down. The time warp used here at the back. Just make sure that the reinforcement for the Terran player are not there in time. Most of the Marauders are already gone. The Vikings on the ground trying to fight as well, but that third base is a goner already, and that means the 35 supply lead for the Protoss player, who goes up into even more gateway units, moves into the natural right now, has a double forge coming up. He's even preparing now for a potential follow-up.
Exactly right, and yeah, there's absolutely no chance of Dayshi holding this. He is down 40 supply.
He's losing too much. I mean, even if he holds...
SCVs away, you know, like, even at this point, even if he beats the army, he has no SCVs left.
Exactly. Even if he somehow miraculously holds, he has no income anymore. There's no third, there are no harvesters. The blink forward to seal the deal. Sora is on a killing spree. He's on the hunt. He warps in even more units, just tries to go for it and end it right here. The natural is exposed. No more units available, and desperate call down here. A couple of mules coming in for the income. The rest of the SCVs leaving the mineral line, going straight for it, trying to act as a buffer against the army of the Protoss player. But the Zealots at the front just shredding them to pieces. And now the Stalkers moving in as well. Sora still producing harvesters. He is making sure that there is no way for him to lose this game, even if he doesn't kill Dayshi right here now.
That's right. And I think it's just a matter of time now. Dayshi really trying to just deal with this army and take it out, and it looks like he will push it back. But
at what cost, Moonglim? At what cost?
All his SCVs. That's pretty much the cost right now. And he is still down 40 supply, and looks like he's going to charge Zealot, which I think is a great idea while getting double upgrades.
I mean, you can argue that Dayshi just held, but the thing is, he kind of only delayed the inevitable, unless he's able to somehow get his army into a crazy position. Maybe a Doom drop somewhere that is absolutely unanswered for. But if we look at the game now, we have not only a 40 supply lead for the Protoss player, we have him going into 2-2 upgrades, into Charge, into Robotics, into Temple Archive. He's starting to get the lead in not only, he has the economy lead, he has the army lead, and he's starting to get the lead in tech as well. And if you are 2 bases against 3 without having the harvesters to actually saturate your bases properly, then you know you're in trouble.
You're in big trouble, and I think he's gonna make a gamble and go for one last massive push. It looks like all these units going across the map. We might even see some SCVs when we get a look at them, and yeah, he's gonna see how many zealots he has. He's going to see them have charge in just a moment, and he's going to be pretty sad.
The one thing that we do not have for Sora are Colossi or Storm. He needs to wait for that a little bit longer. Here come the SCVs. It's the only thing that he can do. And here's the fight. His force fields are great for him, trapping a lot of the SCVs and also Marines on the other side. The Zealots a little bit too overzealous, actually, going too close to the force fields. But Sora is just moving back. He still has his 1,400 minerals. He's waiting for the next round of cycles that he can warp in. The Terran player absolutely all in with this right now. He knows this is his last chance. The charge already started. Storm halfway done. Here comes the Protoss. He still has those 2 Archons in the back. They can do the damage. That's exactly what they do. And the Stalkers blinking forward, sniping Medivac after Medivac, whereas the Zealots are just waiting for another charge, going in and dealing with the Marauders. This is just Dayshi trying to somehow manage and pulling off the impossible, but it's
trying his best. He's trying his heart out. He really wants this win, but I don't think it's going to happen this game. There's just too much of a economic disadvantage and tech disadvantage and upgrade disadvantage, and he just has no SCVs left. He used them all in that fight. So I think it's just a matter of time until he calls it whenever he's ready.
Well, it's a desperate push that he had there. He was trying to go for a YOLO move, and I don't blame him. It was the only thing that he could do. Everything else was just like dying on a slow pace. He knows it too. GG, and Sora takes game number 2.